So in the other video, I looked at a really basic example of how to get this pivot table where we looked at it by sex and the average age. In this case, what I'm asking you in Canvas or in this project assignment is to we want to look at the frequency distribution for the bear weights in total and by sex. So I'm going to do one looking at a frequency distribution by age instead. The setup's going to be about the same. It's just a little different for the weights. So what I'm going to work with here is I'm going to do insert, again, pivot table, and this time I will have it on a new sheet since I've got too much data here to really be trying to sort through it easily. And just as we saw in the other example, if I put sex as the row label here, then the label for the row is either 1 or 2. So 1 for males, 2 for females. And then we want to look at the age. I want to put the age over here in the values. And you see what it does is it takes the sum of the age. Now again, we don't want the sum of those, and so we can right-click in here and do field settings and summarize by, we want the average age, let's say for instance. And that would give us the average age. Again, I'm asking you to do average weight, but we see in this case here that the females are actually living longer, right? Now, the problem also wants you to do a frequency distribution for these. So this would be a summary of the average age by sex and then total here. So the males are 39 months old, the females are 51 months old, and the grand total is about 53.5 months on average for these. And I can go back and I'm going to call that one age by sex. And then I'm going to go ahead and do insert another frequency distribution or insert another pivot table. So we insert pivot table, and this time I'll put age over here on the rows. And I'm actually going to put age in the values as well, and you see it says sum of the age. So what it's doing is it's adding these up. In this case again, what we want to look at now is not the sum. We want to summarize these values by count instead. So I'll click on count, and it tells me, okay, I've got 2 bears that are 8 months old. I've got down here 3 bears that are 57 months old. But this doesn't really make it easier for us to work with. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do group data, and I'm going to group it starting at, let's start at 1 and increase by 12 and see what that does. So what we have is we have 10 bears that are 1 to 12 months old. We have 12 that are 13 to 24. We could change that if we wanted to start at, go from 0 and group by 12, so then we could do that. And so what we have then is what? This is really bears that are less than 1 year old. These are 1 to 2 years old, 2 to 3 years old, and on through the list. And so the pivot table gives us this way of really quickly getting a count by age. But I can also break this down by sex. So if I put sex in the column now, then what we have is down the left we have the age, and they're grouped basically by year here. And across the top in the columns I have 1 and 2 for male and female. And so this 7 right here, these are male bears that are less than a year old. These are 9 male bears that are 1 to 2 years old. These are 5 female bears that are 4 to 5 years old. And so we have these totals for that. And that will get you your answer to, or a similar thing will get you your answer to number 4. If we want the relative frequency distribution, then what we can do is we can right-click on this, and on Windows-based machines, you can actually show values as something. But what we're going to do is we're going to go down to, I'm going to go to Field Settings and show data as, in this case, a percentage of column. And so what we see here is that 20% of the males are in that 1 year old group, 25% of the females are in the 1 to 2 year old group, 20% are in the 2 to 3 year old, 26% of the females are in the 48 to 59. And it was important that we, in this case, if I go back to my settings, that we show the data as percentage of column. If we did percentage of row, it would be a completely different set of numbers there. So you want to be careful about that. Feel free to email, call if you have questions. We'll talk more about this in class tomorrow, but hopefully that will help on this.